Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into something that, well, it touches pretty much everyone's life: work culture.
Yeah, and specifically that tricky balance between professional life and, actually having a personal life.
Exactly. And we're going to zoom in on a really fascinating part of the world, a place known for an incredible work ethic, really pushing boundaries.
Huh.
We want to explore how work habits are changing there, sometimes in pretty surprising ways.
Right. So our mission today is basically to pull out the key insights from, well, a bunch of different sources, articles, research, our notes. We're looking at how work culture evolves, how it stacks up globally, and maybe why people and companies are starting to rethink some of those, let's say, traditional habits.
Giving you that shortcut to being really informed on this pretty crucial topic.
Exactly. Providing context, maybe some unexpected facts, too.
Okay, so let's unpack this. When you think about places with a reputation for just sheer dedication, working hard, Taiwan often comes up, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's built this economic powerhouse, especially in tech and manufacturing. And a lot of that is, well, it's built on the back of this incredibly committed, sometimes almost relentless work culture
We're talking long hours, yeah, late nights.
and the infamous overtime. That's what many employees call it. Maybe affectionately, maybe not so much.
Huh. Yeah, depends on the day, I guess.
That's pretty accurate, though. In many key industries, there are the semiconductors, finance, advanced manufacturing, working overtime isn't just like common. It's almost considered normal.
Normal. Wow.
Yeah. Employees often stay late. That's a phrase you hear a lot, just meaning staying at work after the usual hours. Sometimes it's their choice, maybe driven by wanting to do a great job. But just as often, it's because of incredibly tight deadlines. That final date, something has to be done.
Or just team pressure.
Exactly, team expectations. And what's really interesting is the older generation's view. For many of them, staying late isn't a burden. It's a sign of dedication, loyalty, commitment to the company.
Right, it's how you show you're serious. I get that from a traditional view.
It's tied into their idea of professional success.
But what about the rules? Are there actual labor laws, or is it all just unspoken expectation? Kind of a cultural thing.
Oh, there are definitely labor laws. They
Uh-huh.
regulate working hours, mandate overtime pay, things like that.
But
But there's this concept, the responsibility system, which is still really common.
responsibility system, what does that mean exactly?
Well, it's not just about being accountable. It's it's more of a deep-seated cultural expectation,
Mm-hmm.
especially in professional roles, managerial positions, and definitely in startups.
Okay.
Under this system, finishing the task, like the completion of it, is what matters most, not the clock. It often implies, if you haven't finished, maybe you just haven't worked hard enough, no matter how many hours you've put in.
Tricky. So the laws are there, but the culture can kind of push past them.
Pretty much. The cultural and systemic pressure can often override the rules in practice. So you get this situation where long hours aren't just accepted, they're often expected. And sometimes, especially for salaried folks, without explicit extra pay for that overtime.
Okay, so that's the traditional picture, but you mentioned things are changing.
Yes, and this is where it gets really fascinating. Despite these deep roots, there's a pretty significant shift happening, a growing change in mindset. And it's really noticeable among Taiwan's younger generation. We're talking millennials, Gen Z.
Ah, the generational shift. We hear about that everywhere. But
Sure.
what makes this one stand out? Is it just like they don't want to work as hard, or is it deeper?
It's much deeper than just willingness to put in hours. It's really a fundamental rethink of what work means in their life.
That's so.
Well, a few things might be driving it. They're more globally connected, so they see different work cultures. The gig economy maybe promotes more autonomy.
Yeah.
And there's just a much greater awareness now of mental health, things previous generations might have just pushed through.
Right, things you didn't talk about.
Exactly. So these younger employees, they're increasingly saying, look, I don't want to sacrifice my health or my personal time for my job. They want clear boundaries, fair pay, and a much bigger focus on well-being.
So you hear different things from them.
Oh, yeah. You hear phrases like, I don't live to work. That's a direct challenge to that older idea of work being your main identity.
Makes sense.
And another one is, rest is productive, which is huge. It flips the script. Their view is that taking breaks, having a life outside work, actually makes you better at your job, sharper, more
Right.
creative. And studies are starting to back that up now.
So this idea of work-life balance, keeping work and personal life in a healthy equilibrium, that's really central for them.
Absolutely. It's become a core value.
Okay, that's a pretty big shift. So if this younger generation is pushing back, what does that mean for companies in Taiwan? Are they listening or you
Uh,
just hoping it goes away?
oh, they're feeling the pressure, definitely. And it's being cranked up by a very real problem.
Which is?
Taiwan is facing a significant labor shortage.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, meaning there just aren't enough workers to fill the open jobs.
And labor shortage, just to clarify, means exactly that. Not enough workers for the demand.
Precisely. And it's not just one or two sectors. It's pretty widespread. Critical areas like manufacturing, where you have an aging workforce retiring, but also healthcare and even parts of the tech industry.
So this shortage isn't just like an inconvenience, it's a real problem forcing them to adapt.
Yeah.
They can't just rely on the old ways anymore.
Exactly right. If they want to hire people and keep the people they have, especially in a global market, they have to change.
So what are they doing? What kind of solutions are we seeing?
Well, some pretty significant ones, actually. We're seeing more companies offering greater flexibility. Think things like a flexible schedule, letting employees adjust their start or end times, maybe work from home sometimes.
That flexible schedule idea seems popular globally.
It is. And they're also investing more in welfare programs, better benefits, and of course, better compensation packages.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Some big tech firms now offer things like on-site childcare, gyms, even mental health support. Things that were pretty rare just a decade ago.
Wow.
The main point here, the key takeaway, is that employers get it now. Attracting and keeping good people takes more than just demanding long hours. You need an environment where people feel valued, supported, respected, because if not,
They'll leave, go somewhere else that does offer that.
exactly.
Okay, so that whole discussion about generations and labor shortages, it makes me wonder, how does Taiwan's work culture actually compare globally? How does it stack up? Are these shifts happening everywhere?
That's a great question. And yeah, connecting it globally, Taiwan's workplace can definitely feel, well, intense compared to some Western countries. Places that put a much stronger emphasis on work-life balance up front.
Like where?
Think Germany or Scandinavia.
Yeah.
In those places, leaving work right on time isn't seen as slacking off. It's actually seen as being efficient. Good time management. You did your job in the hours you were given.
Whereas in Taiwan?
In Taiwan, there can still be this pressure, sometimes subtle, sometimes not, to stay late, even if your work is done, just to show you're committed, maybe not to look less dedicated than your coworkers. It's a cultural nuance.
But as you said, the positive side is the younger generation is pushing for that work-life balance. That's a good sign, right? Aligns with global trends.
Absolutely. It's a really positive development, and it's leading to real changes from companies.
Like the flexible schedules you mentioned.
Right. We're encouraging people to actually take their comp time.
Let's define comp time. That's time off you get for working overtime, correct?
Exactly. Time off in lieu of overtime pay, basically. So if you work Saturday, maybe you get Friday off.
Got it.
And this whole mindset shift, it really mirrors a bigger global trend. You see it across Europe, North America, this growing recognition that just working people into the ground leads to burnout.
And burnout is that extreme exhaustion, right? More than just tired. Real mental and physical stress from overworking.
Precisely. And the irony is, it often tanks productivity in the long run. It's counterproductive.
Are there studies on this?
Oh yeah, lots. Big organizations like the World Health Organization, the OECD, they consistently show that excessive hours hurt mental health, chronic stress, anxiety, depression. I remember seeing an OECD report, maybe last year, noting that countries where people worked over 50 hours a week actually saw lower productivity per hour, diminishing returns.
So working less can actually mean achieving more.
In many cases, yes. Countries with shorter work weeks, good vacation policies, more worker autonomy, they often report higher innovation, more creativity, happier employees.
And it's not just a sort of feel-good thing anymore, is it? Companies see the business case.
Absolutely. Leading companies actively encourage breaks, vacations, well-being, because it directly boosts productivity, improves morale, and crucially, it reduces turnover. That saves them money. It's strategic. And here's a kind of fun fact, or maybe just an interesting point. Despite the talk of long hours and the current labor shortages, Taiwan is still a massive global leader in high tech, semiconductors, electronics. They're top exporters.
So how does that square high productivity and this evolving work culture?
It's a great question. It suggests maybe there's an adaptation happening. Perhaps that strong work ethic is being channeled more effectively into high-value output during focused periods rather than just long presence, a shift in what productive looks like.
You know, it's not all just work, 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 though.
Oh yeah, what's that?
The bonding that happens after the late nights, it seems really common for teams who've worked late to then go grab late night snacks together.
Ah, yes, like heading out for noodles or maybe some fried chicken.
Exactly. Or bubble tea. It's like a shared ritual, way to wind down together.
It really is. And those informal moments, they're more important than they might seem.
How so?
Well, it's a way to let off steam, right? Relieve some of that pressure. But it also really builds team spirit, that camaraderie. It highlights the human connection within a pretty demanding system, makes the tough parts a bit more manageable.
Right. So, thinking about all this, maybe we should touch on some useful language. Since we're talking about work, overtime, all these concepts,
Yeah.
it helps to have the right words.
Good idea. There are some key English terms that really capture these nuances. We've pulled a few out.
Okay, like what?
Well, first off, labor shortage. We mentioned that one quite a bit.
Right. That's when there just aren't enough workers for the jobs available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the example, Taiwan is facing a labor shortage, especially in the tech and healthcare industries. It directly impacts company policies, as we discussed.
Got it. What else?
The obvious one, overtime. Just means those extra hours worked beyond your regular schedule.
Simple enough. I had to work overtime to meet the deadline. Pretty much the core topic today.
Yep. Then there's work-life balance. Everyone talks about this one.
Maintaining that healthy mix between your job and your personal life. This company really cares about work-life balance. Seems increasingly important everywhere.
Definitely. And if you don't have it, you risk burnout.
Ah, yes. That extreme exhaustion from overworking.
Right, like he's experiencing burnout after months of long hours, directly linked to productivity drops and mental health.
Makes sense. What about when companies try to compensate for extra hours?
That could be comp time off you get instead of overtime pay.
Okay. I worked last weekend, so I get comp time this Friday, a potential benefit.
Exactly, and the reason for a lot of overtime, the deadline.
The final date, something needs to be finished. We have a strict deadline for this project. Drives a lot of the pressure.
It really does. Then you have the basics of tracking hours. Clock in and clock out.
Just recording your start and end times? You must clock in before 9 a.m. She clocked out at 7 p.m. yesterday. Standard procedures.
And a way companies are adapting, offering a flexible schedule.
Allowing different start or end times. Our office offers a flexible schedule to reduce stress, a modern approach.
And finally, back to the core issue. Stay late. Simply remaining at work after normal hours.
I had to stay late to finish the report. Links right back to that cultural norm we started with. Okay, so wrapping this all up. What are the main takeaways? It seems clear that while overtime is, well, a reality in many places.
Yeah, it's still very present.
But there's this growing awareness about health, about mental well-being, about finding that balance.
Absolutely. And younger professionals are really driving that conversation, advocating for boundaries, for a sustainable way of working.
They want a pace they can keep up long term.
Right. And this whole discussion about rest, productivity, employee well-being, it's genuinely changing how people think about work all over the world, which really brings up a question for you listening right now. Thinking about your own life, what is the best balance for you between your ambitions and your well-being? What does that sustainable, fulfilling work life look like?
That's a really important question to ponder. It's an ongoing process for everyone, I think. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the shifting landscape of work culture. We hope it gave you some things to think about in your own life and career.